Today, I'm sitting down with my amazing client, Elaine Whitt. If you ever wondered how to transition from working off referrals or in-house as a coach and transition to your own business, being the face of your business, launching your own programs, then you will love this episode. Elaine is a life coach and a coach instructor, and in the past 6 years, she trained thousands of coaches. And in this conversation, she shares why she decided to launch her own offer, what was the most challenging, what she had to learn, what were the mindset blocks that she had to overcome, what she had to do in order to turn her intuitive coaching, the work that she's been doing for years, into a very specific sellable framework. We discussed what happened when she launched her own offer, when she launched the masterclass, delivered the masterclass, what doors it opened to her, all the opportunities that she unlocked. So, if you are at this stage and you would want to learn how you can go on this journey by yourself, then dive into this episode. Elaine, welcome. So good to talk to you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Let's dive right in, and I'm excited to bring you to the show and to listen to your take and your insights because you're a very experienced coach. You've trained, I think, thousands of coaches yourself, and you've been doing this work for years. So I'm actually very curious. What was it? What was the moment, the decision, why you decided to shift from referrals, from working in-house to launching your own program?
I wanted to start on that path to explore how to reach more people because I like working one-on-one with people. I love doing that. And I've trained a lot of coaches, but it's been through other companies also. So I was interested in exploring how to expand my own reach and how to create. I wanted to really create programs that were mine. And in the company that I work for, and I still work for them in training coaches, but I do have one part of the program that's mine and another part that I train on the curriculum for the program. So I wanted to explore a bit more, and it's for coaches. So I wanted to explore a bit more about like programs specifically for clients.
Hmm. Okay. But you've been working with clients one-on-one as well in this capacity, not with coaches, but
Yeah, I've been so I train coaches, but I've been working with clients both in groups, one-on-one, in person for the past like 6, 7 years.
hmm. Okay. And you just wanted to kind of like bring your own vision and to touch lives of more people.
Well, I think part of being a coach is that you can always work for another company if you get hired by one, but you're always dependent on that company then if you don't know how to get clients yourself. And I did have a lot of referrals that would come through, but I didn't have like any funnels that were actually bringing people in. Everything was word of mouth. So it felt a little bit insecure to not have like certain funnels that I know this will bring people in.
hmm. Okay, okay, that's a great pathway to actually talking about this whole journey that made this transition possible for you. And I think in your LinkedIn post, you mentioned that you had to learn, really uncover the whole new world of marketing and sales and content creation. What was, I guess, the biggest part of this whole journey for you?
Yeah, I guess you really have to put yourself out there. And so that was a big part of it for me is I always teach classes on Zoom and stuff, but to put things that I create on my own out to the public and like there's always this fear of judgment or like fear of how people are going to receive you. And so that was a big shift for me. That and I would say learning how to build, market, and sell my own program. That was also another huge shift that caused it created a big internal transformation in me as well. Once I created it, I suddenly had this brand new skill set that I didn't have before. And so it turned me into like a different kind of coach. It turned me into a business owner, things that I hadn't really been expecting.
hmm. Okay, okay. I'm actually very curious because you had so much experience training other coaches, and I guess part of or maybe it was not part of the curriculum that you were doing, but if you want to become a coach, you still need to know how to present yourself and how to talk about your offers and your work and what you do. So, how did you decide that, okay, I want to put my program out there and I don't want to do it alone. I need a skill set to do that. How did you decide that? Okay, I can do something, try to figure out by myself versus, okay, I need a very specific path to follow?
I think when I started, there's like the typical things that coaches will do is like I have to build my website, I have to put up my pricing, I have to get my forms ready so I can like sign on clients, things like that. And what I found was that like coaches are often holding themselves back by needing to complete all these steps when really if you don't have a marketing funnel or you don't have a way that you're bringing clients in, you're kind of wasting your time, I think. And because what if you don't have clients coming in? You spend all this time that like you could have spent that time marketing and then put those things together as you need them. And so when I work with coaches now, I typically train them on that, doing getting the priority in line first of like bringing people into your program and getting the steps. When you have that external deadline, it forces you to get your forms ready on time. It forces you to get your website up, but you need the pressure of the client coming in. And so your program helped me to prioritize, I would say. I thought there was so many things that I had to do, and I realized I could just focus on like promoting my program through a masterclass and then just focusing on that. I didn't even need a website. I didn't even need um, you know, any of the things that I thought that I would need to do that. And those things you can put together in time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. But actually, I'm curious, even like the moment before that, before you decided to like come and work with me, why did you decide actually to do that? Because you thought, okay, I have the experience. I can try to do it myself. I'm a smart, successful coach. I could figure it out. Why did you decide, no, actually, let me work with someone and help me do it, what, quicker, faster? What was the decision?
It was to save time. There was definitely a time crunch for me where I needed to be making a certain amount of money within 3 to 6 months. And so I thought, I don't want to waste time with trial and error. I want to go with like a set program and a plan from someone that's done it before that has guaranteed results. And so that was the decision maker for me. If I had more time, maybe I would try to do it on my own, but I didn't have that much time.
Okay, okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, because I see it a lot in the industry that, I mean, some people, yeah, they know that, okay, I want to do quicker. I don't want to test all the things myself, even though seemingly right now we feel like in the online world, there is so much information. You have everything available at your fingertips, and then you have AI that can also help you with somewhat tailored results. And some people are kind of going that path, but then some people, yeah, they decide that, okay, I need shortcut and actually somebody telling me and tweaking, helping me at every step of the way.
And it kept me accountable to a timeline too, which was helpful because I was a little bit lost on like, where do I start? Do I need to get an email distribution list together? Do I need to start putting content on Instagram? I just didn't know where to start. So I didn't even know if I was going to do like a full program. I wasn't sure. And so this kind of helped me make those decisions quickly.
Good, yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of the most important things that you can do in your business at any stage is knowing what to focus on, what to prioritize, because yeah, there are so many things that we could be doing. And I think especially for us as women, it's also very tempting, like you just mentioned before, create a website, create beautiful intake forms, doing all those things that seem productive and that keep us in this phase of like, but I'm doing some work instead of actually going out there and selling and doing the uncomfortable things.
And I think we do that because we don't want, we're like stopping ourselves from like, oh, I have to do these things first. And like, we don't really want to go out and do those uncomfortable things. We avoid it.
Yeah, but that's the only way to get actual results. Yeah. Okay. You noted that writing, I think in your LinkedIn post, I'm referring to that. I'm just looking into that actually, because it was so good. All your insights and yeah, takeaways from that. So you wrote that writing the sales pitch was harder than creating the program itself. And
Mhm.
yeah, obviously we spent together working a lot on this inside the brand, looking at the pitch, how you position the program, all of that. What did finally make it click for you? Because you did it also for the very first time. Your program, the promotion, the sales pitch. What made it click for you that felt like, okay, this is it?
Like that I finally got figured out what my program is or
And how to
whatever.
sell it, yeah.
Let's see what clicked. So taking myself back to that time where I was building it out. So I had to kind of formulate, I had to create the program somewhat. I had to create a basic outline and a method that I was going to use. So that was helpful because it forced me to figure out, my coaching is very intuitive. So it forced me to figure out like, what am I actually doing with people? Like what are the steps that I'm going through with almost every client? And so it helped me figure that out, build out like an outline for a program. And then the sales part, I think the hardest part for me, like, was figuring out how to charge and like what I should charge and then how to sell my program at that price. And the most helpful thing for me that made it click was when you went through in the training together or with us on the module around pricing and how to set the value of something and what the value is, what the person is saving in time and money and all these things in their life, what they're saving in like their marriage if they stay, because I work with couples a lot. So if they stay married versus getting divorced, things like that, um, they're actually saving like hundreds of thousands of dollars over time if they really get what you're selling them through the program. So that was helpful for me to actually be able to sell at like a premium price
Mm-hmm.
and to feel comfortable and like, no, this is worth this. And um, was really to get clear on like, what is the value that's coming from this? Not like figuring out what is my time worth, because I think that's how we often do things like, oh, I should make this amount per hour or something like that. And to figure out like how to focus it more on the value instead.
But I think the whole shift for you as well, from what I remember, was also moving away from charging per session and offering sessions and like pricing per hour to this is the package, this is the whole transformational program that is going to get you to those results. We're not talking about like get one session then another one and we will see where it gets you, but like this is the whole path. This is based on my framework and this is the offer. This is the price.
I think at this shift, it was probably selling results also. You're not just selling one on one coaching, you're selling the results. And so I still do one on one coaching programs, but I tend to charge a bit more for it now because I'm actually building out a program for each person that comes through, like a customized approach of like what we're going to work on and what the results are going to be so that I can actually charge more even for my one on one coaching now because I've learned how to bake the results into the total package.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy that you created the shift for you. And I think, yeah, it's very important to really look at your work that you're doing with your clients and really understand what's the actual value that you deliver. Because so much of us, especially when if we've been doing this work for a while, we are looking at what we are doing. And like for us, it comes so intuitively, so easy. And you think, well, if it's so easy, how can I like charge so much for that? But you have to understand what it brings to your client in terms of the results, in terms of like literally life-changing value for them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, often people are looking for these kind of results for years and years and years. So when you can create something and offer that to them and actually like create the results that they're looking for, it's invaluable.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Okay. So you launched your program. I think one of the things also you mentioned in your LinkedIn post is that creating your framework, which was the foundation, like it's like what I'm teaching my clients and like kind of forcing you to do in order to also bring this layer of the value of your work is to create this framework. And for you, it was also like on one hand was a challenge, but also it helped you also position yourself differently to create this very strong pace program and to offer with confidence to your clients. What was challenging about the framework and how has it evolved for you? Because I think a while back you told me like, oh, you created 3 steps. Now you saw that you needed 4 steps in the framework.
I did. So I created like the main method that I was working with just based on like the tools that I've used with clients over the years. And I realized that after, after I did the master class and when I was actually building out the program more, like I'd sold the program and now I had to like build out the modules. I noticed that there was a step that was missing that was really important. And so I was able to see that clearly and just like kind of insert it in there. And weave that into the modules in the program.
But I think it's easier to sell when you show this path and this framework to people. Because again, you're stepping away from selling like one-on-one 3 month one-on-one coaching program into like these are the specific steps that will gonna get you the results that you want.
And one thing I learned in your program that was helpful was to speak to the limiting beliefs that people have. And actually that was the missing piece for my framework was disentangling limiting beliefs. But that was the part that was so helpful because if you can disentangle someone's belief system that might be rooted in something that's not absolutely true, then you can show like, well, what actually does work. So everything that you disentangle, every belief, every limiting belief that you're able to touch on, you can show in the masterclass, like how your program is different and what it does instead of what people are typically doing, which I found really helpful.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so you launched your program. I think you had a very successful launch. And how did it feel for you? Because it was like the very first time you're doing that. You launched the program, you got the people. How did it feel?
It felt really good. Yeah, I think I had like about 40 people come to my master class and people that I hadn't talked to in a while, some people that I coached before, people that I had trained before as coaches, clients, all kinds of different people, just people that were friends of mine. And yeah, it was really awesome to just see how well it was received and try something new and like that it was so well received by the community. And then I got to do a Q&A at the end, and that part was, I think, what really solidified a lot of things for people, the Q&A and the testimonials.
Hmm. Awesome. Yeah.
Or that I should say the client stories were like really transformational because I noticed that people really connected to the clients whose stories that I would share.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think you mentioned earlier as well that creating this masterclass was kind of like this point where it changed a lot of things for you because it opened so many doors, brought different opportunities for you, not just the clients who actually joined your program, but like other perks of launching a masterclass like that.
I feel like I can't even explain it. It's like it created a shift in me that was almost an energetic shift almost that like other I don't know. It's just after that happened, other people would approach me for consulting or coaching or interested in hiring me for their program, like things that like all came out around the same time that I launched the masterclass. They all happened right after that. So it was almost like something opened. I can't even explain what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's just you create this opportunity for people to experience your work
Mm-hmm.
without buying your session, without joining your program. You give them an opportunity to see, to have a sneak peek into your world, who you are as a coach, what is your method, how you get people results. And this is what I like. This is the method that I teach to all my clients, and I know it works. I've used this method myself in my own business for years and years. And it just creates this kind of path for people. So instead of having like this one-on-one chats with people all the time or this consults that you need to like have many consults to build trust, this is event that you create, you bring people to the live experience, and then you can provide the replays to people, and then it helps to get more people into your world and give them the point of experience of what your work is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they know they want to work with you before having to do all the one-on-one calls. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That does make a big shift. Everyone that signed up for my program, I already knew them personally. So it didn't necessarily bring new people in for that, but everyone on the call, I pretty much knew personally, everyone that joined. So a lot of it was like people that I had already worked with, clients, coaches, things like that.
But they were in your world, but they weren't necessarily coming to you and booking your packages. But then when you provided them a very clear offer, like, hey, here is the path, this is the offer, happy to invite you. And then several people, they said, "Okay, very interesting, this is what I need, happy to sign up for that."
Yeah, and some people signed up right on the spot, some people a couple days later. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome. So is there anything else from your experience? Because it's now been a little while since you ventured by yourself. And how's it going?
Yeah, so I've still done a lot of one-on-one work and I'm still doing one-on-one work with people. One of the things that opened up was doing more work with couples. I've had a few couples that have signed on to work with me for like marriage coaching. And so that's opened up like a whole new world of areas to explore and focus on, and potential partnerships that I might engage in the future. So stuff like that has started to form. I'm not sure where it's going to go yet, but I like doing the one-on-one work, and I find that it helps me decide what I want to build out in the future and what people are looking for. So I feel like in the program is something that like I'm going to offer every once in a while for now. Maybe it'll be a different program. I'll build different things out. And still, I still want to work heavily one-on-one with people too. And so I've just been bridging both of those things because it's different styles of income also. When you sell the packages and the programs, you're getting an influx of finances like right away, and or you're getting like automatic payments every month for people going through the programs, which that stability is really, really helpful. And then still being able to support people one-on-one, which is the work that I really love to do, but not have to have so much pressure and just that kind of work has been very shifting too, just for my peace of mind, for my work-life balance, things like that.
Lovely. Let me see if I have anything else here. Okay, so you've trained a lot of coaches, and I guess many of them, they are kind of on a similar path as you are, and they are thinking that, okay, I would like to launch something myself, not just rely on referrals and or contracts. But as you may know as well yourself, that many coaches are, yes, not comfortable putting themselves out there. They don't want to be the face of the brand, or they don't want to go on Instagram or LinkedIn and do the video or put their thought leadership out there. What would you recommend to them? What would you say to them?
I would say to be creating content and start figuring out like what resonates with your audience and what they like about you. I think that is really important for like newer coaches or people that are considering like, I know a lot of coaches come in the industry and like immediately they want to be making six figures. And so I would say that's a way that coaching programs sell themselves. It's not realistic maybe to make that right away. So I would say like pace yourself. It's going to take a little time to get there. And to really figure out, I think what was helpful in your program was like we interviewed people that we were like our ideal clients. And one of the, I think, mistakes that I see coaches make is they get too much in their process in what they're sharing and not enough in the results. And so some of the things in a person's own personal process for healing, I'm a life coach, they can be weird and people don't connect with it, but they connect with the results that you get. And so I would say like to focus more on that and less on the process, to focus on like the problems that the people are going through, because in the life coaching and the industry that I've been in, people can be hard to connect with if they've had big spiritual transformations and big experiences. Then they want to be like maybe fully expressed in themselves, but that doesn't always connect to the client. And I would say like, you should carry yourself in a way that makes other people feel comfortable. And I think that was another part of your program that is important, is like, you really do care about like presentation. And for new coaches, I would say like that aspect of it is very helpful. Like if you want to work with professionals, but you look like a hippie, and I don't mean any offense to that, then I think it's harder for people to connect with you. And that's what I see a lot in my industry.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. But so your advice would be also to start putting yourself out there little by little and get comfortable with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really important. And just to really track what resonates with your audience. If you put out 10 posts, notice like which ones get the most likes, the most views. Give it a little time. Like, because if you're on Instagram, you don't see all the likes and views right away. It can be ongoing for like a couple weeks before it like really the numbers go up. So if you only have like 3 likes in the beginning, don't get distraught about it, but just wait and see like what resonates. So what I've noticed as I've been putting out more videos is as I've started doing more relationship coaching, people really like that topic. That's like a really popular one. So I've done more videos on dating, marriage, relationships in general. And that one seems to resonate with people a lot. So I get more views for those.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so for you, it also helped to create this shift because you really started your Instagram from zero. Because I remember, I mean, you had kind of like personal Instagram and then you started putting more of this professional content. So for you, it was just going step by step, little bit, okay, one video, another week was helping you to become more and more comfortable with putting yourself out there.
And I was comfortable with video from the beginning because I'm on video every day for my class. But it was more about with Instagram, the reels, the maximum for a reel that can go viral is 3 minutes. So, and not to say like any of mine went viral, they haven't, but for it to be like shared by outside parties, even the 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 amount or the ability to do that goes way up if the reel is under 3 minutes. So it was like, how do I create a chunk of content that will relate to people under 3 minutes and like that still seems interesting, and how do I keep people's attention for those few minutes? And like that was the harder part for me, was like I'm still figuring out like how to really connect with people in that short amount of time that I have.
Well, you're doing a great work. Great work. I love seeing your reels. You're talking reels, yeah, on Instagram. Well, thank you so much, Elaine. It's been great pleasure. I think there were so many insights and takeaways for people who, for life coaches, experts who are on a similar path.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been really fun to explore this new, I don't know, new avenue of coaching, and it definitely just felt timely for me. So I was glad to be able to step into the next phase of my career.
Mm. But I think you also mentioned in Instagram post that it kind of helped you grow professionally. I guess just amplifying. You had all inside you. You had all those talents inside you. You knew that you can help more people. You can connect with more people. You were just not sure how to do it. But now you've opened up. You've stepped into like new era.
One of the things that was helpful was like the masterclass. To be honest, it was very hard for me to put together. There were multiple times that I just wanted to give up because I was like, I feel frustrated. I don't get this. It was just like overwhelm at times. And I kept just like pushing through, I kept refining what I created. I kept like, weeding out parts of it that didn't really feel authentic to me. And in the end, and I had an external deadline, so I couldn't back out. I had already was telling people about it on Instagram. I already had signups, so I can't back out. And not being able to back out, I think really it forces you to do really difficult things. And so that part of it was, I think, transformational for me. And I think you need the deadlines to be able to really push things through. And by the time I was finished, I felt really good about it. I felt solid about what I created. Yeah, and it's like I gained a new skill set by forcing myself to like, get it finished before the deadline, and just like whatever I have, I'm going to go out there and do it. And I spent a lot of time on it, but it was worth it.
Amazing. Congrats. You've done incredible in 2025.
Thank you. Thanks to you. Thanks to your help.
Well, thank you so much, Elaine.